Hey, Dobra. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Parshat Tezave webinar. Now, I'm telling you, I felt like something was going against me here. If I thought I didn't have enough glitches along the way with the Zoom, with the actual Zoom connection, with the whole platform for receiving money, there was also some of the emails that were sent out were not exactly correct either. So I'm glad to see you here, everybody, that you made it. And together we overcame the glitches, the challenges. Sometimes we say when we go through things that we can't, we say, it's just not meant to be. And sometimes when we go through these things, they're called miniot, things that try to prevent us. And Rabbi Nachman would say, these are things that when you overcome them, you put in the effort and you overcome all of these things, then it means you really appreciate when you get there. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited that we've made it and that everybody's here with me today. And I'm excited. It's a big thing. Parshat Tetzaveh for me is always very exciting when we approach it. And there are actually two parshiot that talk about the Avnei HaChoshen. Okay, now the Kohen Gadol, the high priest in the Beit. If I use words, by the way, that you don't understand, tell me, because I slip into those Hebrew words very easily. And if someone doesn't understand, that's fine. I've been living here in Israel for over 30 years, so I should have the words should flow off my tongue. And if they don't for somebody else, I understand. So just stop me, feel comfortable, okay? Or put a note in the chat. And if I don't see it, then raise your hand. Okay. So the 12 Avnei HaChoshen were worn on the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, who worked in the Beit HaMikdash. That was what he did. He was dedicated to working in the Beit HaMikdash. Now, it's mentioned in two different parshiot. It's talked about in details, both in Parshat Tetzaveh and Parshat Pekudei. Sorry, this is going to be someone who can't get on. 1 second. Sorry, ladies. Okay, it's given another few people time to join. Welcome to those everyone who's joined. Say Parshat Tetzaveh and Parshat Pekudei both talk about the Avnei HaChoshen, and I think it's the Choshen, the clothing of the Kohen Gadol, everything was very dear. The whole part. This is Hashem's home. The Beit HaMikdash is the home of a Kodesh Baruch Hu, and therefore it's so precious and dear, and we find out about it a lot. A lot, 4 parshiot, I think, discuss it. So I want to, this is our introduction. And we are given specific details of how and what the Kohen Gadol, how he's dressed. Now, some of you have heard this before, have heard some of the things. And ladies, I always, when I talk about the Avnei HaChoshen, I have to repeat myself because I have to share with you that it's something that is steeped in Judaism. The crystals is something very Jewish, and we have to hear it from the sources. You don't have to hear it from me and saying it this way or that way. You have to hear, and I have to hear. We all have to hear what our sources tell us. Okay, what Chazal, what our commentaries, our great minds say about this. Okay, so I'm going to start to share the screen. And, okay, excited. Okay, so we know this. Oh, we can do better than that. We can do, make it more. If you think I didn't check this out to make sure that you get a full screen, okay, fine. So we have, okay, when we start to talk about the Avnei HaChoshen, okay, I want to tell you that it is something Jewish. It is something that comes from our sources. when we have Rabbeinu Bechaye, okay, and a Spanish commentator who lived in the 1200s saying, אין לך כל אבן ואבן מן האבנים היקרות שלא תמשוך כוח מן העליונים. There is no stones from among the precious stones that will not bring down energy from above. We understand that this is something special. There is energy, there is koach in these stones, okay? And then I want to tell you, okay, you know, I don't even know if it's here, but I'm going to tell you anyway. One of the things that it says is that all of the stones, this is Rabbeinu Bachaya says this, okay? All of the stones are all like descendants. They are all derived, all the precious stones are derived from the 12 of Bnei HaChoshen. They, I say, are the great-great-great-great-grandfather of all of the stones here. So in this picture, you've got lots of colors and lots of different stones, more than 12 different types here, but they originate, they are descendants in some way, they come from the 12 of Bnei HaChoshen, because the 12 of Bnei HaChoshen are there, they represent also different crystal families. So for example, you've got the quartz family of crystals. In the quartz family of crystals, we have the citrine or the leshem, and we also have the achlama, the amethyst, okay? But we have plenty of other quartz stones like the rose quartz and the quartz crystal. And my guess is when we're talking about descendants, those are the descendants that we're referring to, those type of stones, okay? So that's important. Now, here we talk about in Parshat Shmot Perek Kaf Chet, Parshat Tetzaveh, okay? It says, Vasita Hoshen Mishpat Maaseh Choshev K'maaseh Ephod. Make a Hoshen Mishpat. That's what you have to do. And these are the measurements, okay? Ravua Yiyeh, a square, and it's going to be Zeret is going to be the height, the width, and it's going to be the height, etc. And you're going to fill it with stones, and you're going to have 4 rows, and in the rows, you're going to have Odem Pitada Bareket in one row, and then in the next row, you're going to have the Nofech Sapir and the Yalom, etc. Okay? So it's telling us exactly how they are. Now, in the Parsha, it tells us, V'nasa Aharon et Shmot B'nei Yisrael b'Hoshen Hamishpat al libo b'vo'o el HaKodesh l'zichron lifnei Hashem tamid. First of all, so it's telling us that when Aaron went to the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and Aaron or the Kohen Hagadol was the only one that went to the into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Holy of Holies. The only one that was allowed to go in was the Kohen Hagadol, and when he went in with the 12 Avnei HaChoshen, okay? And it's like, it's specified. He went in with all of his clothes. He went in with everything, but he went, V'nasa Aharon, Kohen Gadol, Shmot B'nei Yisrael b'Hoshen Hamishpat. He went in with the names of B'nei Yisrael on the Hoshen Mishpat. He was going in to the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and he was taking all of Am Yisrael with him. They were all there represented on his chest on the Hoshen Mishpat, okay? So here we have the Hoshen Mishpat. Here we have the 12 stones. Each of those 12 stones are different one from the other, just like we are different one from the other. Each of the tribes were different one from the other. And Aaron HaKohen, or the Kohen Hagadol, went into the Beit HaMikdash with the entire Jewish nation. Doesn't matter what they were like. We're all different, and Hashem loves us all, and we're all on the heart of the Kohen Gadol because we're one nation. And I think that's our message of unity, which I'm sure you've heard me say before. Those of you who've heard me talk about the unity, I always believe in the unity of our Jewish nation. And certainly here in Israel, we feel the strength of the unity of our people. Okay? So I want to tell you also that later on in the Gemara, okay, it talks about the Even Tkuma. It talks about this. The Even Tkuma is a carnelian stone, and it says that Yotzin be'Even Tkuma b'Shabbat. In the Gemara, the Talmud, in Masechet Shabbat, where it discusses Shabbat and what you're allowed to carry and what you're not allowed to carry, it talks about the fact that on Shabbat, a woman can carry with her the Even Tkuma in order to prevent her from having a miscarriage. So they understood the time of the Gemara. They were using crystals, and they understood the value of the crystals, that they prevent miscarriage. Today, we also understand that, okay? And I have plenty of people who phone me and ask me for the Even Tkuma because somebody's expecting and they want to have an Even Tkuma, obviously, with them, which is a wonderful idea and very important. And this is the carnelian stone, which we have and which we use. It is not one of the 12 Avnei Hoshen, but, okay, Ein lecha even ve'even mikol ha'avanim shelo timshoch koach min ha'elyonim. There is no stone from among the precious stones that will not bring down energy from above. So that we have the carnelian, okay? And I'm going through this because I think it's important for you to know that in the time of the Gemara, in the 1100s, whatever, they were using crystals. That was something that they were using. Okay? Now, here we have the Avnei Hoshen. Okay? This is a new table that I've done. And what I want to do here is you can take a look, you can take a photo as you wish. Okay, I just, is this recording? Can you ladies see that it's recording?
Eternal living.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, because I can't see that it's recording, so I need to check. Thank you. Okay, so here, if you want to take a photo, I'm going to go through these during the course of tonight. We don't have that long to get through all of this. I want to go through each of these crystals, and I want to tell you a little bit about them, and see if you can find yourself in any of these crystals. One of the reasons, I might add, that I'm doing this webinar now, obviously because I'm excited, it's Parashat Tezave. I want to share this knowledge, this information about the crystals, that people should understand that Hashem has given us something very precious, very special, and we should be using it. And I want you all to have a Dvar Torah at your Shabbos table or wherever you want. I want you to be able to take something away with you that you could share with other people. So whatever it is that works for you, obviously, what you feel like sharing, you know, but listen out and see what is it that resonates with you. But now I want you to take a look at these crystals and choose the one that you like, okay? And see during the course, as I'm discussing them, if something about this crystal resonates with you, about the one that you're choosing. I'm not going to stop. Like very often I show you a slide and I get everybody to choose and then we discuss it together afterwards. Today I'm more focused on getting through them, but I want you to have that opportunity as well. Okay, I'm really excited about this slide, ladies. Okay, it's a new one that I prepared specially for tonight. And I put, right, it's pretty. These are the stones that are on my calendar.
Yeah, okay, good, thank you.
Okay, these are pictures from there. Now the phone. Okay. And so let's go. So we have, first of all, I'm going to stop this. We know where we're coming back to, okay? Now, I'm going to be talking a lot. I found the Kohen Hagadol, who lived in Tzfat. He was a disciple of Rav Yosef Karo, and he lived till the ripe age of 94 from 1506 to 1600, okay? Just to put it into the time. And he talked about the 12 Avnei Hoshen. He brought in the Midrash, he brought in different things, but he talked about the Avnei Hoshen. And it's very interesting to me not all of the things specifically resonate with me, because you'll understand why as we go through, but that's fine. Obviously, it's fine. And I'm going to give you a little bit of what I understand about them. Okay, so I'm putting that all together. But each of the garments that were worn by the Kohen Gadol atoned for something different. On the Hoshen, the name, we have the 12 stones, and on each of the stones was the name of the tribe was engraved. Okay, and then in addition to that, the words Shiftei Yisrael was written there. And then there were all the letters of the alphabet, so that through the Urim V'Tumim, which was an added layer to the Hoshen Mishpat, so to speak, Hashem communicated with Bnei Israel. Before they went to war, they needed to ask the Urim V'Tumim if they should go out, and then certain letters lit up, and that was how they understood the answer. So an example of that is when Hannah was davening. Hannah didn't have any children, and she went to the Mishkan in Shiloh, and she davened there for children. Okay, and so I'm just going to give you a brief bit of it. She davened there, and she was completely involved in her prayers. Really, she had no children, and it was devastating for her, etc. And she prayed, and and Eli, a Kohen who was there, he thought she was drunk, because when he asked on the Hoshen, on the Urim V'Tumim, it said, it brought up the letters Keshikora, but it was really Kesara, like Sarah Imenu. She was tzadikah. She was a righteous woman like Sarah, and she was davening for children like Sarah. That's an example that's brought of the use of the Urim V'Tumim. Okay, Urim V'Tumim, most commentaries think was just a piece of paper with the Shem HaMeforash of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that slipped in the fold behind the Hoshen. Okay, now I'm going to go straight away to the meanings of the different tribes. Okay, in the first row we have, maybe if I put it up again. Okay, in the first row, we have the Odem, the Pitada, and the Bareket. Okay, the ruby, the topaz, and the emerald. And these protected from the three main sins. This is from the Al-Shech HaKadosh, okay? From murder, incest, and idol worship. And he wants to connect the Odem, the Pitada, the Bareket, the tribe of Reuben, Shimon, and Levi, to these particular stones. So if we look at the Odem, the ruby, okay, now we remember Shfichut Damim, okay, is murder, which obviously we're not allowed to do. And Reuben stopped the brothers from murdering Yosef. They wanted to kill Yosef. And he stopped them, and he caused them to put him in the pit as instead of actually killing him. So an odem, one part of the word odem is dam, okay? Odem, dam, blood, okay? So I want to bring in my part here, is that we know that the ruby is helpful to stop bleeding, and it adds life because it helps pregnancy, okay? It helps a woman fall pregnant. It helps a woman when she is pregnant. It helps her when she's delivering the baby. It helps her when she's nursing. It helps it through many, many stages, okay? So it also gives us life because it increases the desire to live. And it also broadens people's responsibility for their fate. Okay, that's all part of the Odem. Now, the next stone we have is the piteda, the topaz, okay, of the tribe of Shimon. Now, we have Gilui Arayot, which I think is all the prohibited sexual relationships, incest, and more, okay? And we have the story of Dinah. Dinah was one of, she was a sister to the 12 tribes, okay? And she was actually raped by Shechem as they were coming through. Shechem kidnapped her and he raped her. Shimon could not stand this lewdness at all in Shechem, and he went to avenge Dinah's rape. He went with his brother Levi, okay? And the Alshich goes on to tell us that the Bnei Kush, who are Africans, they were actually a vulgar and lewd people, and in order to calm their desires, they would hold the piteda, because it would help cool them and calm them down, okay? And I want to say, okay, so that's from the Alshich, which is really interesting. And I want to say that this is a stone which helps us to get things moving as well. Okay, very much helps us to get moving, both physically and also physically, literally. In other words, it's good for constipation. Okay, and it's also a good stone to someone to get things happening. Okay, we've got to get things moving now. So this is a good stone to take with you. And I think that also talks about the issue in Shechem. Shimon got things happening. He wasn't going to allow somebody to harm his sister and just sit back. He went ahead and he did something. He took initiative. He took very strong initiative. Okay. And then we go on to the Bareket, the tribe. I think that's a typo there. Okay. The tribe of Levi is the Bareket, the emerald. And we have Avodah Zarah, right? That's the third one. The emerald, the tribe of Levi represents, why does that come Keneged Avodah Zarah? Because when there was the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf, was Levi a part of this? The whole tribe of Levi did not participate in the sin of the golden calf, which was idolatry. Okay, they made an idol. When Moshe went up to Har Sinai and they felt that they didn't have anybody to turn to, they made an idol. And the tribe of Levi did not participate in this. And when Moshe Rabbeinu said, Mi Lashem Elai, who is for God, come to me. And then, of course, the whole tribe of Levi came to him. Now, from my perspective, when I look at that, I understand that from the tribe of Levi, they are obviously, they're loyal. When I look at the qualities of the emerald that I work with, it talks about loyalty. It talks about high caliber people. They were Shevet Levi. They were working in the Beit HaMikdash. They served there. So obviously they're the highest caliber that we have. Okay. And what other qualities do you think that they're going to need to be working in the Beit HaMikdash? They have to have emotional understanding of people. They need to have intelligence, okay? They need to be able to build relationships, and it strengthens their mental ability, which is also part of Shevet Levi, because they learned Torah. They were working in the Beit HaMikdash and they were learning Torah, okay? So that's a beautiful thing for the tribe of Levi. Then we have the tribe of Yehuda. He continues here. Okay, so we did those three categories of those three very main things. Those are the chataim that the first Beit HaMikdash was destroyed because of them. So these come as against these things. There's a word for it that's escaping my mind. Anecdote, it's not. There's a word, okay? And then the Alshich continues saying, there are 9 qualities that we need in order to make just and honest judgments. And these are qualities that we see in the tribes, in the other 12 tribes. And he starts off obviously with the Shevet Yehuda, the Nofech, okay? And here, in order to judge correctly, you have to be honest. Obviously, you have to be honest, and it's important that you're not concerned about your kavod, that the judge isn't concerned about his kavod, his honor, and it's only the truth that will guide him. Now, emet, truth, is Yehuda. And the tribe of, there was Yehuda, was met Tamar. Tamar was his son's wife, and his son had passed away. He didn't know it was her. She was all covered up. He had no idea, and she was on the side of the road, and he slept with her basically. And what happened was that she became pregnant, but she took a few signs from him. And then whatever, she went through a trial because she shouldn't have been, and then what had she done? And they thought maybe she's a prostitute, etc. She said, no, I'm okay. And these are the signs. And Yehuda sat there in front of Yitzchak, people that, Yehuda was highly esteemed leader of the brothers. And he said, no, this is me. This is my child that she's pregnant with. He admitted it. So it's this very strong sense of truth, emet, that he admitted, and that is a strong quality of the tribe of Yehuda. Okay, now, and this stone, this garnet, comes in a few colors. It comes in the red color, and it comes in the green color. So the Alshich wants to say that it's the green stone, which, okay, I've chosen this red one because I relate to it better. But the Alshich said it's green. And he said when Yehuda had to admit this in front of everybody, he would have actually gone green. You could understand how he would have lost all his color, etc. And that's why this is his stone. I want to say that perhaps it's also because this is a stone that can be used for help with sexual issues, okay? It helps people to overcome a feeling of abandonment, okay? The garnet helps people overcome a feeling of abandonment. And I've met people who during assessments, right? Because one of the things that I do is I use the crystals to help me understand what's going on for people. And through the crystals that somebody chooses, I can really get a good handle on what they've been through, even as children. So I've seen, and it's not just one crystal that tells a story. It's a pattern of all this, or it's a combination of all the crystals that somebody chooses that really gives me an understanding of what's going on for somebody. So when somebody in particular chose this crystal, I understood their feeling of abandonment, okay, what they'd been through, etc. So, so I think that's very interesting as well, the way that we can connect this stone. Now, someone asked me to go back, so I'm going to go back for a second to the Levi, and I will continue moving ahead. And to the tribe of Yisachar, the sapphire. We are told, the Alshich says here, we want to relate to the quality of a judge, that the judge should not be biased in any way, okay? Now, Yisachar was the tribe, they sat and they learned Torah. That's what they did. And they passed the Torah down from one generation to another generation. And they were very strong in their conviction, and they were guided by the Torah alone. And they were the sign for the tribe of Yisachar is actually the donkey. The donkey, which has a great memory, yes, and has a great ability to learn, is this the sign for the tribe of Yisachar. Okay, and the donkeys are strong and they're used to carry loads as well. Now the sapphire as well is a very strong stone. If any of you know about the Mohs scale, which talks about the hardness of crystals, the sapphire is number 9 on the Mohs scale, and the diamond is number 10. Okay, we all know that the diamond is the strongest, but the sapphire is number 9. That is really, really high. And so therefore, just a little tip, if you have a sapphire and it gets scratched from anything but another sapphire or by a diamond, you might be wondering if it really is a sapphire, okay? So just like, if you take something and you try and smash and break down a sapphire, you're not going to be able to do it. So too with Yisachar. If he was in judgment and he felt that something was correct, nothing was going to bias him, because only the limud of the Torah was the only thing that was going to guide him in his decisions, okay? And that's like a beautiful point brought down by the Alshich. Okay, and I want to talk about the tribe of Yisachar as well, as the tribe that learned Torah. Yisachar was known as being wise, and the sapphire is known as a stone of truth, a stone of clarity, a stone of intelligence and wisdom. Okay, and all of these qualities are qualities that you need or are used when serving Hashem and when learning Torah. And it's also a stone that helps us to achieve things, to get things done. And as they sat and learned Torah, I'm sure that the tribe of Yisachar was very, very motivated. Then we go to the tribe of Zvulun. Okay, the tribe of Zvulun is the diamond, and as I just said, it is the top of the top. That is the diamond. Okay, now Zvulun was a tribe. They were known as, it's spoken about that there was a covenant between them. Zvulun would work and they would earn money, they would do well, and they were supporting the tribe of Yisachar. And people talk about having Zvulun Yisachar agreements. I know brothers, like I've got relatives actually, where one brother supported the other brother. He was in business and he was good in business, and his brother was very good at sitting learning Torah. And so the brother, one brother supported the other. And it's a dual thing, because learning Torah brings great reward, and both of them would get the reward. So because Zvulun, the diamond, Zvulun had money. He couldn't be bribed, right? He had it, and he wouldn't take a bribe. And also, he understood the value of Torah, okay? Because if he's taking his money and giving it to his brother, okay, so he can learn Torah. He understood the value of Torah, and nothing was going to stop him and make him biased. It was only going to be an honest judgment by Zvulun, okay? That quality of honest judgment came from Zvulun, okay? Now, when I talk about the diamond, okay, the diamond is the strongest stone, and it helps make a person feel invulnerable. You're protected. Nothing is going to get you, okay? You're safe. And that Zvulun, the tribe of Zvulun, was the tribe, they went out and they did business. They went out on the sea and they conducted business. They were daring. They did business, okay? And this is a crystal. I guess it feels small to say it's a crystal. It's a diamond, a stone, okay, that really provides that protection. And it also inspires creativity, imagination, ingenuity, all of the things that are really good. They're good for all of us, but a successful businessman will certainly use these qualities and need these qualities, okay? The Leshem, okay? The Leshem, the citrine, the tribe of Dan, okay? Now, when we talk about the tribe of Dan, it says, Dan Yadin Imo Ke'echad Shiftei Yisrael. Alshich brings this down, okay? It says that judgment should be done as one of the tribes of Israel. And he should judge justly, should judge as one. And that means Ke'echad here refers to as Hashem, okay? And you take the word LaHashem, okay? Leshem LaHashem. That's what the Al-Sheikh wants to tell us. The judge needs to know that when he's judging before Hashem, okay? La Hashem, like the Leshem. He's judging for Hashem and not for man. He's judging according to what Hashem has told him to judge, okay? The way in which Hashem. And if you remember Samson or Shimshon, he was one of the judges, okay? And he was from the tribe of Dan. The symbol of Dan is also scales, judgment, okay? So the element of being a judge is a strong element here. And the citrine, this is from Gila, okay? Or this is from the explanations of the stones, and I'm bringing it together, okay? And I'm saying that the citrine helps us to see various perspectives, and it helps us to solve problems, which is what a judge wants to do. Obviously, they want to solve things, and they certainly want to see all the perspectives and all the different sides of everything. It's a stone of success, okay? And all judges definitely want their judgment to be successful and to be correct. We move on to the tribe of Naphtali, the Shvo. And here the Al-Sheikh says this teaches us we shouldn't be hasty in judgments when making judgment, okay? You shouldn't try and make a judgment quickly. You need to take your time. You need to consider all the issues, etc. And he brings the example. He tells us that when Yaakov died, okay, they wanted to bury Yaakov in Marat HaMachpelah, in the cave of the patriarchs. And Esav came along and said, no, this is mine. And they said, no, we bought it from you. Yaakov bought this section from you. And then Naphtali, whose symbol is the gazelle, he ran off to Egypt and he brought back the contract that showed that that Yaakov had purchased the area to be buried in, okay, from Esav, and it was all kosher. And here, so what does the Al-Sheikh come and tell us? He said, shvo is like the word shvu. Sit down, take a seat. Don't be in a hurry. Just wait a minute. And then you can make your judgment, not to judge in haste, okay? And I want to talk about the fact that the tribe of Naphtali was also known for its wisdom. The prophetess Devorah HaNeviah, came from the tribe of Naphtali, and she was known for her wisdom. The agate tribe is the agate stone is a stone which enables analysis of a situation. That is definitely a quality of wisdom, and certainly which, like the prophetess Devorah, would have wanted very much, and she certainly had that. Right? Barak said he wasn't going out to battle unless Devorah was with him to help her, to guide. Then we have Gad, the achlama, the amethyst. The Al-Sheikh comes here and says another important quality when you're judging is not to have favoritism, okay? Not to favor family members. If a family member comes, either you disqualify yourself or somehow you know that you're going to be able to do fair judgment, even if there's family, okay? And Gad was also, a lot of the tribes were known to be great warriors, okay? They fought, but when they came into Eretz Israel, Gad was one of the tribes that wanted to stay on the other side of the Yarden and not come in, but they came to fight with Eretz Israel, with Bnei Israel for the land in Canaan. So I think it was 12 years that they were fighting to make sure that we got all our parts of Eretz Israel. Somehow I feel that we're still in the same boat. We're still fighting to get all parts of Eretz Israel today. Okay. And we learn here that just because he says, just because you're strong, okay, shouldn't feel you could do as you wish, okay, should understand that that judge has to be strong in what his thoughts are and turn around and say, my brother, lama, why is it like this? That's what the Al-Sheikh wants to say. And I want to, add on here that Gad were Giborei Chayil, which we said they were involved in war, and their symbol is a military tent, okay? And they were involved with cattle, whatever it was. They had prosperous land. And this is a stone that is known to dispel fear and anxiety, which obviously somebody going out to war, a soldier, they're very brave. They certainly don't want to have fear in their way. So the achlama, the amethyst, would be a wonderful stone to take with for that. Okay, it is also beneficial. It helps someone to be more focused and in control of all their faculties. All of these qualities are extremely important for the warriors, okay? And as well as using their common sense and insight. And I just keep on thinking of our soldiers in Gaza and in the north of our country as well, that really need to be using every bit of their intelligence to know what's coming from the right, from the left, from above, from in front, and to really be thinking on their toes all the time, because the tricks that are played on them, they must be really aware, and they know what they're heading, and they're such giborim. And I just think, the amethyst, and they're fighting a war of kedusha, a war of Hashem, to protect the Jewish nation. This isn't, and they must be spiritual. We see this is a spiritual war now that's going on. All right, we see that this is really a spiritual war that's going on in Israel, and how for me, the achlama is like such a perfect stone. The truth is, the achlama, the amethyst, is always a perfect stone, but I think it just goes very well at this particular time. Now, the tribe of Asher is the aquamarine, okay? Now, the Al-Sheikh wants to tell us that even in the case when somebody who's being judged is poor, and you want to favor them because you don't want to give them a harsh judgment because you know that they don't have means, the person has to be honest. The person, a judge, they have to be honest and correct in their judgment. They can't judge according to feeling sorry for somebody, okay? And if you want somebody to be happy, okay, like Asher. Asher was named Asher because he made Leah, his mother, happy. And Osher is a word of happiness, okay? It means happy, my Osher. So you can't judge him for the purpose of making him happy, okay? You have to make sure you maintain the justice. And the Al-Sheikh, he goes on to say, if you feel sorry for someone, you can take out money and give it to them, but you have to judge honestly, okay? And I want to add in here that the tribe of Asher was located on the Western Galilee, on a coastal region of lower temperatures and lots of rainfall, okay? And the aquamarine, lots of rainfall and coastal area, and the aquamarine, have a look at it. It talks to you about water, marine water. It's really a stone of water that absorbs fluid, okay? And the other thing that's interesting here, which I didn't think of before, but as I was preparing tonight, this thought came to me, that Leah named her son Asher for happiness. He brought her happiness. And that's an emotion. Happiness is emotion. And the aquamarine is very good for people whose emotions move them forward. It's that's their driving force. They sort of like sometimes forget to put their good sense into, and think things through. Their emotions propel them forward. So I just thought that was a beautiful connection. Okay. And then we go to Yosef, the tribe of Yosef, the onyx, and I'll just show you my onyx here. Okay, that's my new necklace that I'm very excited about. Now, a judge needs to have the quality of patience, okay? And Yosef had patience. When his brothers came to him in Egypt, okay, he was very patient with them. He didn't treat them badly. He gave them food. He gave them whatever they needed. He didn't hold a grudge, okay? And the other person that we're told about who had patience was Moshe Rabbeinu, okay? All right, Am Yisrael, to put it really blunt, bluntly, drove him crazy, okay? And Moshe had lots and lots of patience. He did lose at one time, and he paid a heavy price for that. But essentially, Moshe we're told that two people that were very patient, Moshe and Yosef. And if you change the letters around in the word Shoham, you're going to see Moshe. Mem, Shin, and Hey. Shoham and Moshe. And so he wants to say that we learn also the quality of patience from Moshe, which is an important something for judgment. I want to talk about the qualities of the onyx, okay, and how that relates to Yosef HaTzadik. The onyx is known also as a stone of charm and a stone of charisma, which we know that Yosef HaTzadik had, okay? Because first of all, he was in jail for a long time. And when he came out of jail, he landed up and became the second in command in Egypt. And we're told that one of the qualities of good leaders is that they have charisma and charm. So that fits in very well with Yosef. And he must have had lots of that to go from being a prisoner in jail, which is pretty lowly. In fact, you don't get too much lower than that, to becoming the second in charge in Egypt. So I think that he must have been a very charming guy. And we know that Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him as well. And that talk goes well with the issue of self-control. Imagine this, beautiful, influential woman trying to seduce a young 17-year-old guy. It would have been difficult, and he would have been using his self-control. That's what I think. This is also, the Shoham is also a very good stone in times of suffering and pain. And it's a stone that helps to ease despair. So if you think of Yosef in that pit, okay, I think that the qualities, that the strength that he would get from the Shoham would give somebody, okay, good suffering, despair, that could have very easily described how Yosef was feeling at that time. So I think that it's really quite amazing that this is something beautiful, that it all goes together. Now, the Yashfeh. The Yashfeh is the jasper, okay, for the tribe of Binyamin. The tribe of Binyamin is represented by the wolf, just by the way. Now, he says like this, the Al-Sheikh says to us, that when judging, when somebody judges, there can be a few judges, and if this judge has a different opinion to others, but the case is decided in a particular way, he has to remain quiet and not say, what could I do? This is what the others said. I felt this way. He has to keep quiet. Yesh peh. He has to know that he's got a mouth and how to use it and how to close his mouth. And this is a quality that we found with Binyamin, because when Yosef was sold by his brothers, it was known that Yosef was sold. Binyamin knew, but he didn't tell his father about it. He knew how to keep quiet, okay? And he didn't divulge this. So he knows how to control his mouth, which is a very important quality for judging as well. Okay? Now, the Yashfeh stone, the jasper stone, has other qualities as well. It has qualities, it gives us physical strength. It gives us self-confidence. It helps us to take responsibilities for our decisions. Now, it's interesting, who do we know, we're in Chodesh Adar, who could we think of that is from Shevet Binyamin, who has these qualities? Mordechai HaYehudi, Ish Binyamin, Ish Yemini, Ish Kish Binyamin, whatever, okay? And we see that he took responsibility for his decisions. He was confident, and it just ties in really, really well. And this was also a tribe that was known to be strong warriors. Not warriors as in lidog, as in to be concerned. They were strong soldiers, okay? Now, I want to show you something else here. And we have here, this is a page from my calendar. And this calendar associates the tribes in addition to telling you about the qualities of the different tribes, okay? It's going to tell you, according to Sefer HaYetzirah, which stone relates to which month, okay? Nothing to do with the zodiacs. This is very Jewish here, okay? So I think that that's really exciting. And I'm curious to know if people pulled out a Dvar Torah from here, that they'll be able to share something. And here, I sell the calendars. You can just download it from my website if you choose, but you can also purchase. It's a very, I think, here, this is the calendar, and you sort of have this, and write all your dates in here. It's a perpetual calendar, so it lasts with you. You could write in the dates, and every year you could look up, okay, if you do English months or Hebrew months, it works with both. Say, okay, coming the month of Tishrei, what do I have in Tishrei, or what do I have in October? And it's got, you know, my mum's yahrzeit there, and my grandson's birthday, and whatever it may be. Okay, so anyway, it's a great tool. I love it. Okay, so here we have something very special to be able to see and to understand more about how the 12 tribes relate to us, how their crystals, how the stones representing the tribes still relevant to us today in our lives. And for me, that's like something very, very exciting. And of course, it's something that I use all the time, Baruch Hashem, because when I'm doing assessments and when I'm meeting people and people come to me, and it's not only that I am able to understand what's going on for somebody through the use, okay, through the use of the crystals, we can also help heal people. For example, okay, I had somebody who was in touch with me, said, Gila, I've got terrible stomach pains. Terrible stomach pains. I don't know what's going on. I think I've taken some sort of, you know, I took some tablet that I don't normally take, a healthy, in inverted commas, tablet, okay? And, okay, and what am I supposed to do? So I said, you take the piteda, okay, the topaz, and you stick it to your stomach, okay? You stick it on your stomach above your belly button, take 2 little of those imperial topaz. And she said, Gila, 5 minutes later, I felt relief. So like unbelievable, okay? It's just unbelievable. So we actually treat with the crystals. I'm not doing it now, but very often you'll see that I have stones stuck to my hands, and because they reduce pain. And the reason that I don't need it now is because I'm using the stones even more intensely than just sticking them on, because we can also use the stones, okay, in water, because the frequencies of the crystals transfer to the water and we can drink the water. I'm telling you about 2 lessons that I teach in my course in 3 minutes. So there's a special way of doing this, etc., etc. But it's incredible the power of the crystals. Okay, I'm now happy to answer questions if anybody would like to ask.
You mentioned about stomach aches.
Sorry?
Hi, my name is Karen. You mentioned about stomach pain. And you said that was a topaz, just because I happen to have issues with my gut, my small intestines and digestion. So what would you recommend?
Okay, so first of all, I can't always just answer like, you know, just like that, what's going to be. But we know that a stone called the orange agate, okay, is very helpful for stomach pains, okay? And there are actually a few stones. And often what we find with the crystals is that when I do an assessment, that we find, you know, I'll see with somebody, like I had this couple of weeks ago, I had this with somebody and I saw that she's got lots of skin issues. And then when we treat the main issues of her awful childhood that she went through, okay, it expresses with different people in different ways. So when we try and cleanse her system of the difficult childhood she had, she's going to find different results. She's going to find the different ailments are going to clear up. Baruch Hashem, it's like it's an incredible thing that we're able to do using the crystals. I'm not saying, Karen, that that's a case for you, but I'm just bringing it as an example, of course. Okay. Other questions?
Can we use the crystals to affect other people?
What do you mean by affect other people?
To change their attitude without them. Do we have to give it to them? Is there any?
Okay.
Is there a, I don't know, something admitted, that comes from it, that's like maybe you wear a stone for when you're relating to a child or a difficult adult or whatever, or maybe you'd like to affect them as well as yourself. Is that possible?
So you know what? If we have more patience, okay.
Too bad not our enemies, but anyway.
What did you say?
I said it's too bad we can't affect our enemies like this, but
what we can do with our enemies, what we can do, or what we do with our enemies, and I've done this a lot for a lot of people, okay, is a lot of people we've given the black tourmaline, because the black tourmaline, for example, protects us against negative energies. So at the beginning of this war, I got a whole bunch of black tourmalines, and wherever I saw soldiers, I gave them out. Okay, so we can protect ourselves against the negative energies. We can put an amethyst somewhere to make sure to try and make a calmer, nicer atmosphere in our home, different things. A rose quartz to make it a more giving kind sort of environment. So yes, we can certainly do different things, and use the stones to affect others. That's certainly very beneficial. Okay. Okay. Any other questions before we sign off? Okay.
I just I wanted to also ask. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Sharon and then Karen. Karen. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wrote in the chat if you can send us the recording of this video, because it was really amazing, and I just missed some stuff. Thank you so much. I love it.
Okay, pleasure. Thanks, Sharon. Bye. Karen.
I think you mentioned though also having the amethyst or whatever stone around you, right, affects the people around you as well. I forgot who asked the question, right? Just even having it in the environment.
Yeah, people will come into my home and they'll talk about the beautiful vibe, the beautiful feeling. I've got stones everywhere, and sometimes people can be holding stones. People go into crystal shops and some people feel unwell or they feel the effect or all different things. So yes, we can, but I think to really affect somebody, they have to take it on board. But you never know. It's certainly worth worth trying. I always encourage people to try, because crystals are so beautiful, and Hashem's given this as an amazing tool, and they don't harm. They're good for us. They're a good thing. They've got their makeup is very similar to our makeup, so our communication is beautiful. Okay, it's a very warm and close relationship between us and the crystals. Okay.
Can you just tell me one more thing in terms of neutralizing a stone that you purchase? I heard that you have to wash it and then leave it out in the sun. Is that correct?
Okay, so what we do, okay, I call it to purify the stones, and we believe that it's very important to purify, because I'm not sure where all of these stones are coming from, if they've been used before or whatever's going on. And even the stones that are mine, I purify them once a week. I try to purify them once a week, okay? Because stones, they give us energy, okay? And they absorb our energy. So therefore, it's very important to recharge them. So we do that by running, kitchen sink is fine. Open the kitchen tap, 2 minutes, hold your crystals in your hand, okay? 2 minutes under cold running water, okay? and then 3 hours outside in daylight. It doesn't matter if it's raining or if it's sunny. It doesn't make any difference, but it needs to be 3 hours in daylight, okay? So that's how we purify them. I also take my stones to the mikveh, okay? Because Rabbeinu Bachaya talks about actually purifying. He said he saw that the philosophers talk about charging and the crystals. He said, I think it's a good idea. Letaher et ha'avanim. Tihur in Hebrew refers to a mikveh usually. So therefore, whenever I buy stones, I take them to the mikveh, I toivel them, I put them in, I dunk them, and then I bring them home and I do the regular toiveling. So all of my stones have actually been through lots of different purification. Okay, Michelle wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there are any particular stones that are good for anxiety, especially in older teens. Anxiety that revolves more around her safety for herself, her safety and her protection. She's very concerned about being in unsafe environments and medical issues. So I'm just wondering if there's anything that would be particular for that.
Okay, so there's a set of stones which are good for anxiety, okay? These smoky quartz and the howlite, okay?
Smoke quartz and what?
Smoky quartz and howlite. It's actually on my website, which at the moment the payment issue is an issue, but I can be, PayPal still works, and in Israel there are other methods of BIT and whatever else overseas. But if you're interested, let me know. They're good for anxiety, but I would be wondering when a teenager is concerned about a lot of things, maybe there's more things that we need to go a little bit deeper and cleanse them. We don't want to be superficial. We want to actually move in a little bit deeper. Sometimes there may be a more something causing it. Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. Okay, they talk on this parsha, on Parshat Tezave, the Alshif and Rabbeinu Bachaya talk. Okay, Goldie.
The question is, how does Unikite work on relationships? You gave it to me for a difficult relationship. I'm full of stones and I love them. So okay, I'm full of stones. I love them and I'm fascinated by them. And they're just such a if anybody wants to give themselves a gift, it's a beautiful gift to give yourself the assessment or to give to someone else. It was one of the gifts. My daughter told me about this. I got Gila, took the classes and got the assessments, and she can't get rid of me. I'm in there for life. But my question, so how does I love it. So tell me the Unikite. How is it different than
brings together unites, tries to bring together opposing sides. Okay. It tries to pull.
So it's good for everything.
No, not necessarily, because it usually refers to somebody that you're close to. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're enemies. It means that you could be close to somebody, but there are strong things that you disagree about, or you have issues with. Okay. That may be, that require you to be brought closer together to find more of a common ground. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not at all an enemy. It's someone you're close to.
Close to. Okay? Suppose it's good for every husband and wife.
Yeah, we have stones for husband and wives too. We have stones.
Yeah, I know. I did it. It's just. Thank you, Gila.
No problem. Okay, time for one last question.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. What's your name?
If you buy a stone from a store, how do you know if it's real or not?
So you need to buy a stone. I like to say buy stones from somewhere that you trust, okay? From a place that you trust. Sometimes when you look at stones and you see that they have a pattern on them, if the pattern repeats very regularly, then the chances are it's not a real stone, okay? And you get to sort of learn, and sometimes some people, you know, and there are different stones. Some it's easier to understand and some it's harder to work out if they're real or if they're not real. Okay.
Because we live in the Shomron, outside in our garden and walks, there's like a gem inside. How do I know if it's a real gem or not?
Okay, so guess what? We live in the Shomron too. So that's
Oh.
nice. We don't really have precious stones here that they've found. So it might be something nice, but the chances are it's not one of the precious stones. And the other way that you can tell is because see how strong it is. Okay, somebody came to me exactly like you. My neighbor came and brought me this beautiful, colorful stone. Oh, it was crystally shiny, and he said to me, Gila, look what I found. It's like a quartz stone. And he said, it's a little bit crumbly. I said, so then you know that it's not really a quartz stone, because if we look on the Mohs scale, we know that it's a stronger stone than that, and it shouldn't be crumbling. Okay. Okay, ladies.
Can I add that sometimes the pattern, can I just add that
Yeah.
sometimes the patterns are real? They're like in
Definitely.
the crystals.
But if you
structure.
definitely the crystals have patterns. But if it's too regular, like if you have a turquoise with all the crevices in it and it's really regular and it repeats exactly, then you know it's not a real turquoise.
Right.
Okay, but yes, they definitely have patterns in them. They're beautiful. Okay, thank you, ladies, and I hope you have beautiful Divrei Torah, something to say for Parashat Tezave, and we will continue to meet. All the best. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you so
evening.
much.
Okay, my
Thank you.
pleasure. Bye, everyone.
Bye.